Over the course of the past 24 hours, Ukraine's defense forces have killed 790 Russian occupiers and destroyed 7 artillery systems, 16 tanks and other Russian military equipment. Partisans on the occupied territory of Zaporizhia Oblast handed the information on the location of a Russian ammunition storage point over to Ukraine's armed forces. The target was destroyed by Ukrainian defenders. Source: Press Service of the National Resistance Center, NRC. Details: Ukraine's armed forces carried out an artillery shelling on a Russian ammunition storage point in the vicinity of one of the temporarily occupied settlements of Zaporizhia Oblast. The NRC reports that the exact information from the local resistance movement helped to find out about the location of the storage point and adjust the targeting. We emphasize once again that partisanship is not only direct actions aimed at undermining the enemy's military equipment and killing its personnel. Information about the placement and pressing of the enemy. Adjusting artillery strikes, non-violent resistance. These are all things that everyone can do and thus bring our victory closer. The dropping of VOG-type ammunition from quadcopters launched from the territory of the Russian Federation was also recorded. The Russians fired mortars at Myropilya Hromada from 9:45 with 6 strikes. Artillery shelling, self-propelled artillery system, has been conducted since 11:40 with 6 strikes reported. Bylepolya Hromada, the Hromada was fired on with mortars, with 22 strikes and grenade launchers, 40 strikes reported during the day. Russian forces conducted a mortar attack on Khotin Hromada from 11:10 with 5 strikes reported. The Russians dropped 4 mortar bombs on the territory of Nova Sloboda Hromada. The Russian occupying forces have attacked 5 Hromada's administrative units designating a town, village or several villages and their adjacent territories in Sumy Oblast, dropping mortar bombs and VOG fragmentation grenades over the past 24 hours. Source: Sumy Oblast Military Administration on Telegram. Details: the Hromadas of Myropilya, Bylepolya, Khotin, Nova Sloboda and Krasnopilya came under fire. A total of 93 strikes were recorded, including 42 strikes from mortars, 7 from artillery, dropping 4 VOG using a quadcopter and 40 strikes from a grenade launcher. A non-residential building was damaged as a result of shelling, 1 strike reported in the village of Ryazan, Krasnopilya Hromada. Territory of the Hromada was also fired on with mortars, with 5 strikes reported. Under a blanket of stars, the only sound in the air is the deep hum of a pickup truck, its headlights off. Fumes chug into frigid air from the exhaust. Only the taillights reveal the vehicle's outline. The remotest sliver of light could spell disaster this close to the front line. Overhead, Russian drones stalk the skies, hunting for any sign of life. Thursday's pre-dawn mission is simple. Get to one of the most beleaguered and battered parts of eastern Ukraine's 1,500-mile front line, the linchpin town of Volodar, which Russian forces have sought to seize for months. On New Year's night, the Ukrainian armed forces carried a missile attack on the Russian base in the occupied city of Makiyivka, Donetsk region. Several hundred Russian servicemen were killed and wounded, according to reports by Russian and Ukrainian media. The news agency RBC Ukraine reports that almost exactly at midnight the building of the vocational school, which was used as a temporary base by the Russian military, came under a massive strike by Ukrainian MLRS systems. According to witnesses, the building, located near the village of Ilyach's Way at the intersection of Kremlovskaya and Chugovskaya streets, was destroyed to the ground. The Russian Defense Ministry officially confirmed the information about the missile strike on the barracks with Russian conscripts in the occupied city of Makiyivka, Donetsk region. The Kiev regime struck using 6 HIMARS MLRS missiles produced by the United States, a temporary base of the Russian military, in the village of Makiyivka, Donetsk People's Republic. 2 HIMARS rockets were shot down by Russian air defense systems, the Russian Defense Ministry said in a statement. The ministry added that 63 Russian servicemen were killed in the attack. The information of the Russia ministry differs significantly from the information published by the Office of Strategic Communications. Under the Ukrainian Armed Forces, up to 400 dead and about 300 wounded. Eyewitness reports and posts on social media point to hundreds of Russian servicemen killed. Indeed, there are a lot of dead there. I know that almost everything they had remained in that place, in the school building. All I know is that many were torn apart to such an extent that there was almost nothing left of the bodies. I know that one had to literally scrap the brains off the shoes, the wife of one of the survivors told the Russian news outlet 7/7. Governor of the Russian Samara region Dmitry Azarov confirmed that those mobilized from the Samara region were killed in the shelling of the vocational school in Makiyivka. Our countrymen unfortunately came under a strike of the enemy forces. There are wounded and, alas, there are dead. The information is currently being clarified, Azarov said, and recommended that relatives of conscripts contact the Military Recruitment Office to clarify the information. I am in constant contact with the Defense Ministry, the leadership of all support services. We will definitely provide comprehensive assistance in the treatment of the wounded. Families can count on our full support, he assured. The former defense minister of the so-called Donetsk People's Republic, Igor Girkin, aka Strelkov, warned that this could happen again at any time. Girkin said that the Russian generals do not learn from earlier mistakes.